The avarice never ends. I want golf clubs, I want diamonds, I want a pony so I can ride it twice, get bored, and sell it to make glue. Look, I don't want to make waves, but this whole Christmas season is stupid, stupid, stupid. There is, however, one teeny tiny Christmas tradition I find quite meaningful. Mistletoe. Now pucker up and kiss it, who, Bill? Uh-oh. Somebody's fabulous. All right, your turn, Don.
Hey, look, we can pause it right there. That's how some of y'all, you know, that's how a lot of us is, you know what I mean? When we found out Christmas was alive, we was acting like that. Like, yeah, this thing's some garbage. You know what I mean? That's how the Grinch was getting down, you know, at first.
Clement Clark Moore reimagined the legend of St. Nicholas. In 1822, Moore wrote a poem called The Night Before Christmas about a good-natured saint named Santa Claus who was pulled by a group of reindeer and came down the chimney on Christmas Eve. Like St. Nicholas, Santa Claus spread good cheer and gave gifts to children. Less clear was exactly what this Santa Claus looked like. Then in 1863, Thomas Nast, a cartoonist for Harper's Weekly, settled the matter once and for all with his version of the Christmas Saint. Nast's Santa was rotund and jolly, with a full white beard and a sack full of toys. An American icon was born.
So, oh well, all paganism. What you got on that?
So they said they didn't know when was Christ's birthday. So let's get that in Luke chapter 2. Let's start at verse 40. So the Bible do tell us when Christ was born.
The book of Luke, chapter 2, verse 40. And the child grew and waxed strong in spirit.
So that child is talking about Christ. Go ahead.
Filled with wisdom. And the grace of God was upon him. Now, his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover.
So when is the feast of the Passover, brothers? March, April, during the springtime, right? Go ahead, read.
Verse 42. And when he was 12 years old.
So it said, and when he was 12 years old, meaning he turned 12 years old during that time. Go ahead.
They went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast.
So that's when Christ was born. He was born around in the springtime. He was never born in the wintertime. Go ahead.
Yeah, and anyway, it's a sin to celebrate birthdays anyway. So even if you, let's just say he was born on December the 25th, which he wasn't, but let's just say he was. Are we supposed to celebrate his birthday? Let's go to the book of Job real quick. Job 1. Matter of fact, before we go to, go to Job 1 and 4.
But real quick, also, you know what? Even when we read this, it didn't say he was going up to celebrate his birthday. He was going to celebrate the Passover.
They didn't say he was going up to celebrate Easter either. So read that real quick.
The book of Job, chapter 1, verse 4. And his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one on his day.
So they feasted everyone on his day. Hold that real quick, John. Jump to Job 3 and 1, because let's define what his day is, just so it's clear, because I don't want nobody to say, that's your interpretation, brother. That's not talking about a birthday. Yeah, it's talking about a birthday. We're going to find out. Read.
The book of Job, chapter 3, verse 1. After this, opened Job his mouth and cursed his day.
So Job cursed his day. Same what we just read in Job 1 and 4. Read that. Keep reading.
And Job spake and said, let the day perish wherein I was born.
So his day is talking about what? His birthday. Let's jump back real quick.
The book of Job, chapter 1, verse 4. And his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day.
So they had a birthday party. They feasted on their birthday. Read.
And sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them.
So they were celebrating their birthday. That's what they were doing. That's clear. So let's see what God has, or what Job and what God thinks about that. Read.
And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts.
So he let you know that them celebrating the birthday was a sin. Just like we brought out before, Christianity is another doctrine. It's paganism. It's paganism. And pagans are satanic. That's what that is. I know a lot of people in Christianity don't understand. What does that mean, it's pagan? That means you worshiping the devil. That's what that means.
So that means the excuse of I'm celebrating Christ's birthday, that's out the window, right?
Well, let's see. I mean, maybe they agree with this. Go get the Satanic Bible, page 96. Let's see. Because, let's see what the Satanists say. Now, you ain't got it. We're going to put it up on the screen. Get that up on the screen for John, so he can read that, so everybody can see it. You see that, John? Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Read that. Let's see what the Satanists say in their Bible. So this is supposed to be opposite of our Bible, right?
Exactly.
In their Bible, because they got the same Bible we got, even though they don't read it. Read that, John.
The highest of all holidays in the satanic religion is the date of one's own birth. The Satanist feels, why not really be honest? And if you're going to create a God in your image, why not create that God as yourself?
Keep reading.
So the Satanist celebrates his own birthday as the most important holiday of the year.
Okay, that's enough. So there you go. You and Satanists agree that y'all should celebrate birthdays. But the Bible don't agree with that.
So they're not in Christianity or Christians, as they say. They pretty much satanic religion.
Everything about Christianity is pagan. The worship day, Sunday, worshiping the sun. The cross is a pagan symbol. We can get that out of the book. That you got the 2 Babylons. All of the holidays are pagan. Everything it's not Christian, it's pagan. It's just put a Christian, they just put a name on it. It don't have nothing to do with serving Christ at all. It's serving the devil. Let's go to Jeremiah 10 real quick, because that's what we've been waiting to get to. Let's get that.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
So don't learn from the other nations, because we separate from the other nations. We read that earlier. Read.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Keep reading.
For the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain.
Because they have vain customs. Read.
For
hold
one
on.
cutteth a
hold on. Read verse 2 again, one more time.
Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
So don't worship the stars. The reason why I wanted to stop you there is go get that book, The Life of the Greeks, page 566, because it's going to show you that we always did things different than everybody else. Like these other nations always been into paganism. You got it, John?
Yes, sir.
Let's get it.
The Life of Greece by Will Durant. Stars were gods.
Hold on, read that again. What did it say?
The stars were gods who ruled in detail the destinies of individuals and states. Character, even thought, was determined by the star or planet under which one had been born.
So they've been worshiping. This is, and we reading Jeremiah. God is talking about it way back when. Now we up in Greece, and they still worshiping the sun, moon, and the stars and things like that. When you look at Islam, they do the same thing. You got the crescent moon and the star. So this is something that's continual. So that's why when you read, that's enough. We go back to Jeremiah 10. Read that again.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Because you got a lot of our people, what are they into? They into the, what you call that? Astrology stuff and all that, the horoscopes and what's that? What's your sign and all that? I don't even know what the Pisces and all. What the hell is that? I don't even know what that is. How they determine that? Y'all know how they determine that? You a Pisces. It's like your birthday or something. I don't know. I don't know about it. But I know it's got some stars or something because don't they got like the animals with the stars or something on? I thought I wasn't tripping. So it's got something to do with astrology or something like that. They drawing it up. Y'all, you know what I'm talking about with the animals? They got a picture of that.
That's at Moab restaurant when you sit down at the table.
Yeah, they got that.
Look, they know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but he got it. Yeah, we'll see. They're going to pull it up. See what we talking about. Because I know I've seen it before. I was like, man, that's all into that. You got it? Okay, here it comes. Nah, that's not what I was talking about. I thought it was something. I've seen something where they do it like up in the sky, too. Like on the stars. Don't worry about it. But anyway, keep reading, John. Go ahead.
For the heathen are dismayed at them.
Read.
For the customs of the people are vain.
So they got vain customs. Let's get another vain custom they got. Read.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
Keep reading.
The work of the hands of the workmen with the axe.
So one of these customs that they have is they cut down a tree out of the forest with an axe. Read.
They deck it with silver and with gold.
So they decorate the tree with silver and gold. So what holiday is that? That's Christmas. God just said don't do it. That's in the Bible that they read, that they don't read, should I say. Read.
They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not.
So they make a tree stand for it. They make a tree stand for it. So that's what a lot of people got in their house right now. Jump to Deuteronomy 7:25. And, Deuteronomy 7:25.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 25. The graven images of their gods shall ye burn with fire.
That's what God is telling us to do. Like anything like that, we don't supposed to have that stuff in our house. Back then, God said burn it with fire. Didn't somebody just burn a Christmas tree up in New York or something like that? Yeah, so they was reading this right here. They came across this scripture and said, man, I got to burn that tree down. We ain't telling y'all to do that. Read that.
Thou shalt not desire the silver or gold that is on them, nor take it unto thee, lest thou be snared therein. For it is an abomination to the Lord thy God.
You see that? So it's letting you know that's an abomination. Keep reading.
Neither shalt thou bring an abomination into thine house.
So you got people carrying abominations in their house, a Christmas tree. They got it strapped on top of the car. Y'all see them coming down the road. And take that thing, carry it on their shoulder, and put it right up in the living room. Read.
Lest thou be a cursed thing like it, but thou shalt utterly detest it, and thou shalt utterly abhor it, for it is a cursed thing.
All right, so let's jump to the book. Let's go to the Antichrist, 666, page 3032. Oh, pull it up real quick. I thought I seen that. Yeah, I told you I wasn't tripping. See that? How they got the stars and all that? That's how they came up with that stuff. So y'all be talking about I'm Aquarius and what's that, a Capricorn and all that madness. I know I've seen it before. I just couldn't remember how they came up with it. But that's how they came up with that stupid mess. But all that's idolatry right there.
Which one? The Antichrist, 666 book. That book.
Yes, sir. Page 32.
Page 30. Remember where I told you to start at? Yeah.
Beware It's Coming, The Antichrist, 666, by Sutton. Page 30. Have you ever wondered what the Christmas tree has to do with the birth of Christ? Or the ornaments you place on the tree? Or the meaning of the word Yuletide? Or where the tradition of mistletoe came from and how it became a symbol of Christmas? They have nothing whatsoever to do with the birth of Jesus, but are some of the traditions observed to honor the birth of pagan godchild Tammuz.
So that's what we were going into earlier. Remember, Tammuz, it all goes back into Ishtar and the fertility god and all that. Go ahead.
There is not one single scriptural evidence that supports the birth of Christ as being December 25th. But history says December 25th was kept thousands of years before the birth of Jesus in honor of the pagan Messiah. Another name for Tammuz, the pagan godchild, was Baal Bereth, which means Lord of the fir tree.
So even before Christ was even here, they were celebrating that. Go ahead.
The sun god, the mother goddess, and their son, according to Babylonian mythology, were mystically changed into trees. This is the origin of burning the Yule log. Nimrod, deified as the sun god, was symbolized by a big fir tree stripped of all its branches and cut almost to the ground.
So with Nimrod, they were saying that when he was put to death, they cut up his body and had his body spread all over the place. So now he's a symbol of a tree. And so when they hang the balls on the tree, even though you heard what they said up there about talking about the garden and eating the balls or whatever, but that represented his, you know what I'm saying, his balls that was hanging on the tree. Nah, go ahead.
But the great serpent, which symbolized the life restorer, whose name is Asclepius, twists itself around the dead stalk, and lo, at its side sprouts a young tree, a tree of an entirely different kind, which is destined never to be cut down by hostile power, even the palm tree, the well-known symbol of victory.
So all this is what it's reading into. It's going right back over to what we just read in Jeremiah chapter 10, 1-5. Go ahead.
People of Aryan stock who believed that the oak tree was a symbol of Zeus or Jupiter believed that this branch was of mistletoe, which grew on the oak tree, and to be kissed under the mistletoe would ensure fertility.
So you see that, to ensure fertility. So all this, go to, real quick, give me 1 Corinthians.
So that goes into the video that we saw earlier.
Yeah.
That goes into your orgies and all of that. Because during Saturnalia, that's what they made the movie Purge after. A lot of people don't know that movie's made after Saturnalia.
So give me 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 18. So we had an article, and it goes into about the mistletoe that they explained about, but it's it says it's a Roman tradition. So, but even before Rome had made a tradition, it was Babylonian and ongoing. But you know, when Esau, when they conquer these nations, they take on their customs and their culture. But go ahead.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6, verse 18. Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body.
So that was Paul telling the Corinthians to flee fornication. The mistletoe, all that stuff, them orgies, all that have to do with fornication. That's why he was writing to the Corinthians, because that thing was heavy back then. Fornications, phallic worship, and all that. All right. That's it on that.
But he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body.
Your own body, because what? Your body is what? It's your temple, right? So, exactly. So you're putting yourself in sin. You're damaging yourself. Give me. Is that it in the book? Because I don't wanna go too much. I wanna move on. Nah, we can move on. Go ahead, officer.
All right, because I wanted to get this scripture right here. I wanted to go to Proverbs 16:25 because we just read a little bit, a lot about Christmas as being an ungodly custom. A lot of our people, they still have to do it for the kids and, this and that. Let's see what the Bible say. Read that.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 25. There is a way that seemeth right unto man.
Because they make Christmas, seem holy. You be listening to the music, they be singing it. And, they got the little Edomite baby in the manger and all that. You think that's like, you know what I mean? They be singing that thing, you know what I mean? Like them Edomites be singing outside and all that. Read.
But the end thereof are the ways of death.
They're going to get put to death. They're going to get put to death. Proverbs 3 and 5.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not on thine own understanding.
That's heavy right there, because what is that telling you? Let God do the thinking for you. There's no reason for you to sit around and think, okay, try to figure out Christmas and all that. All the holidays that we need and that we're supposed to celebrate is here in the Bible. You know what I mean? We got plenty of high holy days. We celebrate Hanukkah for 8 straight days. They got one day, a gifts or whatever and all that stupid stuff. Keep reading.
In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths.
Keep reading.
Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord, and depart from evil.
So don't think the Christmas tree is good. Get away from that tree. It say depart from evil. That tree is evil. Because you have a lot of our people, Romans 10. Oh, you want to say something, officer? Go ahead.
When it says, be not wise in thine own eyes, that's because with your eyes, when you see things, it can be very tempting. Very tempting. That's why I said it could, when they were in the temples, people were having those orgies, they was doing all that stuff. That stuff could be very tempting. You see that stuff, you're going to want to do it. You're going to want to participate in it. So that's what he's saying. He says, be not wise in thy own eyes, meaning what? Don't look at that thing as tempting and that you're going to want to do it. So he's telling you to depart from that, leave off from that. Go ahead.
All right, let's go to Romans 10 and 1 real quick. Get that right there, because, a lot of our people, they're going to wake up. When's Christmas, on Saturday? Early Saturday morning with their tunes playing and all that. Read that.
The book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 1.
New Testament, read.
Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved.
So he didn't say everybody. Paul said, this is Paul. Because I know to somebody in Christianity, this is Christ. Because they'll take his words and twist them up and you know what I'm saying? Like, they take a Paul said, I can do whatever I want. I can eat whatever I want. I can go to church on whatever day I want. I can do whatever I want. They be messing Paul's name up, man. I was like, man, Paul ain't telling y'all to do none of that. Read that again.
Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved.
Read.
For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God.
Our people in Christianity got a zeal of God. Read.
But not according to knowledge.
So, not according to knowledge. What's the knowledge, fellas? Malachi 2 and 7. Let's get it right quick. Let's find out what the laws are.
The book of Malachi, chapter 2, verse 7. For the priest's lips should keep knowledge.
So we talk about knowledge. That's what the priest's lips should keep. Read.
And they should seek the law at his mouth.
So what's the law? The law is that we don't celebrate Christmas. So why ain't these pastors teaching that? Why you look at a video and you got T.D. Jakes and all these pastors with Christmas trees and ornaments in the background? When this in their Bible that they holding in their hand, they ain't even got a Bible no more. They got a tablet. They just don't even have a Bible no more. Who knows what's on that tablet? It could be porn. It could be, how to walk your dog. It could be anything on that tablet because they ain't reading those scriptures anyway. So who knows what's on the tablet? But they got Christmas trees in the background, and we reading right in the book. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to celebrate that holiday. Go back to Romans and finish that out.
The book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 2. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge.
Not according to God's laws. Why? Because the pastor's not teaching that. Read.
For they, being ignorant of God's righteousness.
They are ignorant of God's righteousness. What is this righteousness? What does that mean? What is that talking about? What you got? Hey, go ahead. What you got? Yeah, tell us.
I got Deuteronomy 6:25 talking about the law.
That's a good one. Let's get that. Deuteronomy 6:25.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 25. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our God, as he hath commanded us.
So to be righteous, you got to do God's law. So now jump back to Romans 10, verse 3.
The book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 3. For they, being ignorant of God's righteousness.
Of God's laws. They ignorant of God's laws because God's laws, we just read, Christ celebrated Hanukkah. Read.
And going about to establish their own righteousness.
Which is Christmas.
Have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God.
So if they ain't doing that, what's going to happen to them when Christ come back? They're going to get put to death. It's going to be bad. It's going to be real bad. Let's go to, let's show you another little thing that come with Christmas. Let's go into this character right here, Black Pete. How many y'all familiar with Black Pete? Anybody? Not familiar with Black Pete? Anybody never heard of Black Pete? Raise your hand, please. You never heard of Black Pete? What about y'all? You not heard of him? Okay, let's play Black Pete. Because when we say paganism and this and that, let's see. Play that.
I'm going to read this. In Holland, Santa doesn't have elves, he has slaves. What are they talking about? You have many blacks that moved over. I mean, you have blacks in Holland and Netherlands already. But some blacks from America recently moved over there. And they were shocked. It was a culture shock when Christmas time came. They said, where is the elves? They said, our Santa Claus does not have elves. He has slaves. What the hell is this? So, I'm going to read it briefly. As a newcomer to the Netherlands, I do many things wrong. I forget to bring gifts to dinner parties. I thank people too profusely and often speak too personally with people I've just met. But no slip-up has provoked a more troubled response than when I've brought up my concerns about Santa Claus. Mix the words around in Santa, you get Satan. Here's what concerns me in Holland. Santa or Sinterklaas. Sinterklaas, that's how they say Santa Claus in Holland. Sinterklaas, as he's known to the Dutch, doesn't have reindeer. He has a little helper named Zwarte Piet, literally Black Pete. That's his name. Zwarte Piet is Black Pete, who charms children with peppernotten cookies and a cookie demeanor while horrifying foreign visitors with his resemblance to Little Black Sambo. Each year on December 5th, the morning before the feast of St. Nicholas, children all over the country wake up excited for gifts and candy, while thousands of adults go to their mirrors to apply brown paint and red lips. In their Zwarte Piet costumes, they fill central Amsterdam and small village streets, ushering in the arrival of Sinterklaas, who in the Dutch tradition rides a flying white horse. Trying to tell a Dutch person why this image disturbs you will often result in anger and frustration. Otherwise, mature and liberal-minded adults may recoil from the topic and offer a rote list of reasons why Zwarte Piet should not offend anybody. He is not even a black man, many will tell you. He is just black because he came down the chimney. Then you may reply, why aren't his clothes dirty? So now let's pause there.
But that thing right there, that is them mocking us. When they ran us out of Spain, they ran us out of Spain, and they tell their kids, look, those Negroes are gonna come back and get you if you naughty. That's what that's all about. So over here they changed it to the elves, but we're gonna get into some more stuff with these pagan customs that they got. What you got? You want something? No, go ahead. All right, let's go to Jeremiah 5:31. This is a good scripture right here. One of my favorites right here.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 5, verse 31. The prophets prophesy falsely.
So the prophets, that's your T.D. Jakes, your Creflo Dollars, and all of that. They tell lies when they preach. Read.
And the priests bear rule by their means.
Meaning what? They use their own understanding. They don't use the Bible. They're not teaching you the Bible. We just read the Bible said don't celebrate Christmas. Read.
And my people love to have it so.
See that? Our people love that thing. They don't care that Christmas ain't in the Bible and you ain't supposed to celebrate it. They're going to do it anyway. They don't care about Black Pete and how they mocking us with the Santa Claus, none of that.
And what will ye do in the end thereof?
What you're going to do in the end is you're going to get killed if you don't repent. That's what that's going to go down to. Jeremiah, let me see what you got. 14, 13, and read that.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 14, verse 13. Then said I, Lord God, behold, the prophets say unto them, ye shall not see the sword, neither shall ye have famine, but I will give you assured peace in this place.
So what is that right there? That's prosperity gospel. God, you say, your blessing right around the corner. What they say? Blessed and highly favored. What's some of them slogans they use? Yeah, your season. Is this the reason? Jesus the reason for the season and all this stuff. I heard Pastor talk about go out and claim your car, go around, run around the car like Jericho 7 times, jump inside the car, smell the leather, and claim it. Y'all heard that name and claiming stuff. Y'all ain't never heard that. Y'all seen them people doing that stuff. Them people's crazy, man. Can you imagine you working at a dealership? And so you see something, you come outside, can I help you, sir? And they run around the car 7 times. This is my car today, Lord, my car. By the blood of Jesus, I'm taking this car out of here with my 400 credit.
Hell no.
That's what they have our people believing up in these churches, man. Our people is crazy, man. Keep reading.
Verse 14. Then the Lord said unto me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name.
You see what God say? Because how do you know they prophesying lies? Because what they saying goes against the Bible. That's what we telling y'all. What they saying goes against the Bible. Read.
I sent them not, neither have I commanded them, neither spake unto them. They prophesy unto you a false vision and divination and a thing of naught, and deceit, and the deceit of their heart.
So they teaching you what? Out of their heart. Read.
Therefore, thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets that prophesy in my name, and I sent them not.
God ain't sent T.D. Jakes and Creflo Dollar. Read.
Yet they say, sword and famine shall not be in this land.
But
by the sword and famine shall these prophets be consumed.
You see that? So, guys, look, his word going to come. It don't matter what they say. They can say they blessed and highly favored. Look, all the money they got, he could take Esau. Esau, your money is on the screen. You don't even really have money, first and foremost. They can just hit a button and you broke. They can hit one button, delete. Next thing you know, all the millions of dollars is gone. And you can't do nothing about it. There's people talking about they got money. You ain't got money. You got digits on a screen. You do not have money. They could just hit one button and everything you work for is gone. That's how Esau got the system set up. Ezekiel 22 and 26.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 22, verse 26. And her prophets have daubed them with untempered mortar.
Hold on. You at 22 and 26?
Oh, that's 28. Sorry. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 22, verse 26. Her priests have violated my law and have profaned mine holy things. They have put no difference between the holy and profane.
So they said ain't no difference between what? Christmas and the Feast of Dedication or Hanukkah. Ain't no difference? Read.
Neither have they shown difference between the unclean and the clean.
So you can go down there. We got lobsters and pig or swine. What else they eating? Shrimp and all that stuff. Ain't no difference between that. And they had that right next to your roast beef and your, you know what I mean, your fish and all that. That's just food to them. They're going to pray over all that thing. God bless this. That stuff is an abomination. But they'll tell you, you know what I mean? They'll say that there ain't no difference between the clean and the unclean. God cleansed everything. We know that's a lie. Read.
And have hid their eyes from my Sabbaths, and I am profaned among them.
So how they hide their eyes from God's Sabbath? They go to church on Sundays. They don't keep the Sabbath. They don't even try to keep it. Jump down to Matthew 15:3, and then jump to 9.
The book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 3. But he answered and said unto them, why do ye also transgress the commandment of God by your traditions?
You see that? He asking them, so why do you transgress God's commandments? So we can use the Sabbath as a perfect example for that, because that's the easiest one that's clear. So you transgress the Sabbath, which is the fourth out of the 10 commandments, by your traditions to go to church every Sunday. Keep reading. Was that it on that?
Yes, sir. You
jump
want
down
verse
to
9?
Yeah, jump down to verse 9.
Verse 9. Book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 9. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
You see that? So what does that let you know? Every Sunday morning when they waking up early, they frying that bacon up in the pan. They getting dressed up, putting the makeup on. They spend a half hour in the car, sit up in the church, hooping and hollering, sweating and everything for 2-3 hours. Go to the buffet after. All of that is a waste of time. It say, read that again.
But in vain they do worship me.
You wasted all your whole Sunday for nothing. That's what God is saying right there. Read.
Teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
Teaching what? Come to church on Sunday, celebrate Easter, celebrate come as you are, all of that stuff. That's doctrines and commandments of men. That's nowhere in the Bible. So they just wasting their time. They could be out doing something else more productive, like planting a garden or playing shuffleboard or something, anything. I don't know what, on a Sunday, go to the Top Golf like we did. All right, so let's go. We're going to get another mystical character of Christmas, because, a lot of times when we say paganism, over here in America, Christmas is really watered down to the true roots of paganism that they had and that they still practice. Some of it's practiced over here. It's just not as prevalent. But hit the history of Krampus real quick. Everybody, have y'all heard of the Krampus? Everybody in here? Who hadn't heard of the Krampus? Okay, so we got some newbies here. Play that.
Horns, fangs, and a long tongue. He's covered in fur and is gigantic in scale. He is everything has its opposite. Good has its evil. Light has its shadow. Nice has its naughty, and St. Nicholas has Krampus. Typically described as a half-goat, half-demon creature, it's easy to compare Krampus to, or even mistake him for, the devil. Because the two figures bear such a striking resemblance, the Catholic Church tried to eliminate Krampus celebrations during the 12th century. This attempt was unsuccessful, and the tradition continued. His image alone ought to be horrifying enough to keep naughty kids in line, but those who dare challenge Krampus, as the legend suggests, would endure an extreme punishment of being beaten with birch twigs, kidnapped and taken back to his lair, tortured, and even eaten. Krampus's pre-Germanic origins are unrelated to Christmas, and is thought to have initially been a part of pagan rituals practiced for winter solstice. He later became associated with Christmas, which, as mentioned, the Catholic Church tried to ban at one point in time. He is sometimes referred to as the Christmas Devil. While his true origins are unknown, the myth of Krampus has roots in what is now considered Germany, where traditionally, people began celebrating Christmas earlier in the month. The name Krampus comes from the word Krempen, which is German for claw. In Germanic tradition, St. Nicholas is a benevolent figure who gives sweets to good children, while Krampus, his malevolent counterpart, beat and kidnapped the bad children.
All right, so hold on.
In essence, their origins...
Pause it. So, is anybody catching on to anything here? What y'all catching on to? Black Pete. So, guess who that Krampus is right there? That's your black behind that they making fun of right there. They saying you're a black ashy devil. And that if your kids is bad, that black ashy devil gonna come kidnap them. That's what that is right there. Play some more.
Story recounts how St. Nicholas and Krampus traveled together working as a team, rather than opposing forces, one bearing rewards while the other brought fear and punishment. The good and the bad duo would arrive in tandem on December 5th, which is known as Krampensnacht, which translates to Krampus Night. They'd go door to door, and either St. Nick would leave presents for the good children, or Krampus would beat the naughty ones with sticks and branches. In some lore, he might even eat them or take them to the underworld. Once Krampus was done with his mischief, the Germanic people would then celebrate Nikolaustag, or St. Nicholas Day, on December 6th. The children who, through good behavior, managed to avoid Krampus, or those who were once naughty and survived his punishments, would awaken to gifts which could range from something totally awesome to a rod, a gesture designating good or poor behavior. Krampus uses his force to discourage people from naughtiness, and as a means of deterring children from bad behavior. According to Krampus Los Angeles director Al Ridenour, Krampus is a boogeyman associated with the Christmas season. Ridenour explains that Krampus is a species, rather than a singular creature. Being that he is the counterpart of St. Nick, Krampus's birch twig may be in reference to the Dutch legend of St. Nicholas coming back from the dead and then nearly beating a bishop to death with a birch wood, perhaps linking Krampus's role as St. Nicholas's darker counterpart. Krampus is often covered in sheepskins, as well as heavy chains or cowbells. The chains are thought to have been introduced only after Christian influence on the holiday, as a possible representation of attempting to bind the devil. However, the origin is technically unknown.
Now, I pause it right there. So those are slave chains. That's why he had the chains on. Y'all got to pick up on this stuff. So they mocking us right here with this stuff right here. Understand what's going on. That's why he had the chains on, because he was a slave. That's us right there. Read. Keep playing, I meant.
Part of a lost pagan ritual, or perhaps adopted elsewhere, as Krampus has been influenced by many other traditions and cultures as well. After 1890, the Austrian postcard industry began to grow after the government released its hold on the industry. Between 1890 and the beginning of World War I, Krampus Christmas cards made by German companies were sold in Austria, Germany, and beyond. They often featured text like Brav sein, be good, and Kuss vom Krampus, greetings from Krampus. Images on the cards often showed crying children being frightened or kidnapped by a terrifying Krampus, among other variations. Cards featuring adults emerged around 1903 and 1904, some depicting them also being punished by Krampus, while others were designed to be funny. There were even cards depicting female versions of Krampus, who were often much more attractive than the male version. They also had a long tongue and horns. Other cards that featured women sometimes showed Krampus courting them or taking them away. Adding adults to the mix may have just been a way to expand.
Hold on, y'all catch on to that? They got the Krampus is taking away the white woman. The Negro is after the white woman. Y'all got to pick up on this stuff, man.
Not even that. They got them messing with the little kids. So at the end of the day, Krampus really is Harvey Weinstein and Epstein. That's who the Krampus is.
Go ahead and play, man.
War II, but returned with the renewed folk culture interest in the 1950s and the 1960s. By the late 20th century, Kampuslauf, or Krampus runs, became increasingly popular in Austria and Germany, as they were seen as a tradition they could enact to help preserve their cultural heritage. Krampus runs often involve alcohol and a parade with people dressed in Krampus costumes, ringing cowbells and scaring and chasing spectators whilst prodding them with sticks. Similar activities were also celebrated in other regions such as the Czech Republic, Hungary, and Slovenia as well. Krampus parades, also called Perstenlauf or Klabaufe, stem from a pagan tradition that goes back centuries, where young men dressed in costumes marched the streets for the purposes of eliminating or getting rid of the ghosts of winter. The costumes, often referred to as Persten, are named after the devils they resemble.
All right, that's
the
good right
masks
there.
are-
Let's play a little bit of the parade so you can actually see the parade. We're going to play the parade next. So you can actually see this stuff still going on. Some of it is in America. Right now, they just how, like when when you tell somebody that's in Christianity it's a pagan custom, they don't really know what that real paganism looked like because it's been so watered down here. Like Christmas was banned in the United States of America until 1820 because of how violent and vicious it was. Christmas was like real bad. They watered it down and changed it to what we got today. All right, go ahead and play that.
So this one right here, this is the one from, is that the one from 2018?
Yes, Santa Claus.
So that's an old one that's overseas. We got the one that's from Pittsburgh though, 2021. Put that one on. So this stuff was brought over here by the Dutch. So the Dutch brought this stuff over here. So when you got different states, you got Pittsburgh, I even think in Alabama, in certain states here, they do this right here.
They starting to bring their customs back full strength. You know, as you seeing everything else amp up, you seeing all this stuff too. Go ahead and play that. They kind of watered down compared to overseas, but you get it. All this is mocking us, though. That's what you got to understand. This is all mocking us right here, what you see. All right, that's enough of that garbage, man. So all that is mocking us. Y'all understand that? What's going on? So when you telling people about Christmas and the pagan origins and how wicked it is, all of that is part of that. You know, mocking us and all of that. All right, let's get Amos 5 and 10.
The book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 10. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate.
So when you tell your relatives, what type of reaction do you get when you tell your relatives you ain't supposed to celebrate Christmas? Anybody give us a real account? I want to hear one. Come on, brothers. I know y'all got a story. Somebody over there. What you got?
Shalom. I told my mom about this not having it, not dealing with it, and she was like, "I can't celebrate Thanksgiving either," and I was like, "That's what the Bible say." So, yeah, it's straight anger,
Well,
sad.
Hopefully we'll have this video before Christmas, and you can send it to her, and she'll watch it. You know, a lot of people. Anybody else got a story, a Christmas story that they weren't celebrating? Any of y'all brothers over there? I know you got something. Come on, man.
Yeah. So my cousin just called me like 2 days ago, asked me was I coming home for Christmas. I told him, hell no, man. You know we don't do all that. Oh man, come on, man. Here you go with all that religion again. I ain't call you about that.
So what is Christmas supposed to be? What is Christmas supposed to be? I thought that was supposed to be a religious holiday. Come on now. Read Amos 5 and 10.
The book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 10. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly.
You see that? So you're going to be hated because most people celebrate Christmas. Even though it's not biblical, they can't find nothing to substantiate it. You know, my mom she bitter about the fact that we don't come over there for Christmas. She want, the old times. You sit around, with the Christmas ham and all that, the trimmings and everything. My aunt would bring over the leg of lamb and all that stuff. You know, you grow up, you don't know no better. You learn better, you do better. Let's go to Isaiah 30 and 8.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 8. Now, go, write it before them in a table, and note it in a book.
So everything that we supposed to do is written down in the table in this book. This book is the Bible. So all our holidays and everything that we celebrate is in this book. Read.
That it may be for the time to come, forever and ever.
But keep reading.
That this is a rebellious people.
So it's letting you know that the Israelites, our people, they rebellious. Keep reading.
Lying children. Children that will not hear the law of the Lord.
So our people don't want to hear God's laws. We hate God's laws. Read.
Which say to the seers, see not. And to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things.
Just like what my man was Josiah, what you said, because I don't want to hear all that religion, man. I ain't call you for that. What they say? Read that again from the top, that verse.
Which say unto the seers, see not.
Read.
And to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things.
Man, don't say nothing to me about Christmas being bad, man. I ain't call you for that. Read.
Speak unto us smooth things.
You're supposed to tell them, yeah, man, I'm coming down. I got gifts. I'll be down there early, man. That's what he want to hear. You know what I mean? Read.
Prophesy deceits.
Yep. They want that deceit, man. Read.
Get you out of the way. Turn aside out of the path.
Get off the phone, man, with that. I ain't trying to hear that.
Cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us.
You see that? They don't want the Bible coming out, man. But guess what? Read verse 12.
Verse 12. Wherefore, thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word.
Because you hate God and the Bible. Read.
And trust in oppression.
Because who taught us Christmas when we couldn't read or write? The white man. Our oppressors taught us that. Because you can't write. If you can't read about it in the Bible, we had to get it from somewhere. So he taught it to us. Read.
And trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon.
And you won't change, even though you hearing the truth. You don't want to change. Read.
Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. And he shall break it as the breaking of the potter's vessel that is broken in pieces. He shall not spare.
Okay, that's it right there. That's all I wanted. So letting you know you're going to get put to death when they come back. So what we got? A song here, the mistletoe song? Did you send that over? Let's get down to that. Oh, if you can find that, if you've been good or bad or whatever. Is it Jingle Bells? Santa's coming to town. Okay, we got Satan coming to town. I don't want nobody catching no spirits up in here, man. Play a little bit of that mess. Just a little bit of it.
Yeah, real quick.
Y'all got it? Y'all got that madness, man? I don't want nobody catching no spirits, man. We're just going to show you something real quick how they take this song. We'll let the ad run. Then we're going to get to the Grinch. He was in the spirit for a minute.
That's the man right there. Y'all should have been rooting for him in that movie.
That's what I'm saying, man. They was hating on the Grinch. Damn.
They isolated him, had him standing off by himself, calling him a Grinch, angry man, all that.
You better watch out.
It is?
You better not
Yeah,
cry.
is it?
Better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming.
I don't know if
That's not it.
That's not it. It says
not it.
checking his list. Okay.
It is.
Okay,
stop it right there. So he said
right.
he's making a list and checking it twice.
All right.
So now you listen to that. Who's making the list and checking it twice? Yeah, the Most High ain't going to be there. Going to say
Exactly.
Go ahead and get that.
Give it.
Get that joint.
Revelations 20. Get Revelations 20. Start verse 12. They say he's making a list and checking it twice. So they're trying to put him on the status of the Most High. So all this, what we've been talking about, the idolatry, the worshiping of other gods, Santa is a god to them. So they're trying to put him up on that pedestal with the Most High. Go ahead.
The book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 12. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God. And the books were opened. And another book was opened, which is the book of life.
So the book was open, meaning that's your book. So he has a book in the book of life, which is the Bible, to see if your name is written on that list in that book. Go ahead.
And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works.
According to their what?
Their works.
Because he's making a list and checking it twice. Why? So he can see what's the next one? To see who's naughty or nice.
Get that a little bit more of the song. Did y'all pause it? Or y'all cut it off?
Who's naughty or nice? Santa
All right, that's it right there. So
Claus
we find out who's naughty or nice. So that's Sirach 23. 18. Let's see. These jokers, man, they just...
The book of Sirach, chapter 23, verse 18. A man that breaketh wedlock saith in... Is that...
Yeah, go ahead.
The book of Sirach, chapter 23, verse 18. A man that breaketh wedlock, saying thus in his heart, who seeth me?
Because when you do sin in the secret, you think you can get away with it. You know what I mean? You think ain't nobody watching you. Read.
I am compassed about with darkness. The walls cover me, and nobody seeth me. What need I to fear? The Most High will not remember my sins.
He gonna remember.
Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts.
Read.
He knew all things ere ever they were created. So also, after they were perfected, he looked upon them all.
You see that? So God sees everything. You understand that? So they like we bringing out in the little stupid song, they trying to put like Santa, like he up there with God, like he checking to see what he don't even have a standard to measure you by. Like Santa, like how's he measuring you, man?
Exactly, naughty or nice, based off of what? Yeah, go ahead. You can go ahead. We'll jump back to it.
I want to, we're going to go back to the song, so hold the song, but I did want to jump back to this Wisdom of Solomon because I skipped that. That 14, 16. We got to get that.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 16. Thus, in process of time, an ungodly custom,
like Christmas,
grown strong, was kept as a law.
Now that thing is kept. What is a tradition? Every year you break out the Christmas tree, the ornaments. They got shopping days, Black Friday, all of that stuff set up for this read.
And graven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings.
So that's what they got the president now. Don't he light up the Christmas tree and all that stuff?
Yep, they had a Christmas tree.
Yeah, they got all that. Don't they have the Easter egg rolls and stuff at the White House and all that? The Easter egg hunt and all that stuff. They pardon the turkey. So all these pagan customs they do right there. The king is there. The president is doing that. Jump down to verse 23.
Verse 23. For whilst they slew their children in sacrifices.
That could be your abortions right there.
Or used secret ceremonies or made revelings of strange rites.
Because they have secret ceremonies in the high places like Bohemian Grove and all of that stuff. And they said these made revelings. That's your Christmas. Like what we saw with that Krampus parade. You don't think that they be partying after they do all that stuff, get dressed up like that and be, you know, all kinds of, stuff going on. Strange. What did it say? Read that part again.
For whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites.
That's that Krampus parade. Revelings and strange rites. Read.
They kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled.
Read.
But either one slew another traitorously, or grieved him by adultery.
Keep reading.
So that there reigned in all men without exception blood, manslaughter, theft, and dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness, tumults,
Read.
perjury, disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good turns,
Read.
defiling of souls,
Read.
changing of kind.
Ain't that something right there? Changing of kinds. You got them transformers out there. Read.
Disorder in marriages.
You got the marriages in order, out of order. You know what I mean? You got the women leading the men a lot of times. Read.
Adultery and shameless uncleanness.
Keep reading.
For the worshiping of idols not to be named is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil.
So that's like, you know, idolatry is the beginning of sin. It's going to be the end of it too for some people that don't repent of that.
But you know what? When you read verse 25, even when you read verse 24. I'll be quick.
Verse 24, they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, but either one slew another traitorously, or grieved him by adultery.
Earlier we saw that they were at having orgies and all that. Y'all think that stuff don't still go on today with those elites, the high ups? But go ahead.
So that there reigned in all men without exception blood, manslaughter, theft, and dissimulation.
So during Christmas time, don't all this stuff happen? People get robbed, people get killed over what? Gifts? What? Soon as Thanksgiving ends, you have what? Black Friday. That rolls right over into the wicked Christmas holiday. People start preparing then, but people get put to death for their presents and all that. Go ahead.
Dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness, tumults, perjury.
All right, that's all I want on that one. Go ahead.
All right, let's jump back to the song real quick. Play a little bit more of that. All right, right there. That's it right there. So he knows when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. Let's get Deuteronomy 32 and 39.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive.
So God is the one going to wake you up or put you to death.
Exactly.
He control all of that. Read.
I wound and I heal.
They ain't got nothing to do with no daggone Saint Nick. That man's the devil. Our people trapped up in that stuff, man. But yeah, all of that Christmas garbage. I'm gonna sidetrack a little bit because we got to get on the Grinch a little bit. Understand? Because some of us could be the Grinch, you know. And I'm talking about we're gonna go through the whole thing and go to the Mark 4. What you got on the videos on the Grinch? Which ones you got?
Pull up the first one. The Womanity. The Womanity. Because the Womanity video is he's going to show you a scripture that we read earlier in Deuteronomy. And y'all know what I'm talking about when you see the video.
Of course they are. That's what it's all about, isn't it? That's what it's always been about. Gifts. 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 You want to know what happens to your gifts? They all come to me. In your garbage. You see what I'm saying? In your garbage. I could hang myself with all the bad Christmas neckties I found at the dump. And the avarice. The avarice never ends. I want golf clubs. I want diamonds. I want a pony so I can ride it twice, get bored, and sell it to make glue. Look, I don't want to make waves, but this whole Christmas season is stupid, stupid, stupid. There is, however, one teeny tiny Christmas tradition I find quite meaningful. Mistletoe. Now pucker up and kiss it, who, Bill? Uh-oh. Somebody's fabulous!
Hey, look, we can pause it right there. That's how some of y'all, that's how a lot of us is, you know what I mean? When we found out Christmas was alive, we was acting like that. Like, yeah, this thing's some garbage, you know what I mean? That's how the Grinch was getting down, at first. At first he was getting down like that. Go ahead, let's go to,
I want them
you want to get something?
to finish the video because I want
go
y'all
ahead.
to see
Go ahead and
something.
play the rest of it.
Let's go. Excuse me, old timer. Mind if I wet my whistle? Well,
This is scripture we read earlier.
that's some good stuff. Burn, baby! Burn!
All praises. Look at my man. That was the Grinch was in the spirit.
Yep.
Y'all didn't know the Grinch was righteous. Y'all was mad at him when he did that thing. Y'all didn't know that man was in the truth.
He ain't have his fringes on at that moment, but
He had a little hair hanging down, though. He was working on it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's get Mark 4 and 15 real quick. 14.
The book of Mark, chapter 4, verse 14. The sower soweth the word.
Read.
And these are they by the wayside, where the word is sown.
So that's us when the word was being sown, because we were by the wayside. Some of us was on YouTube. Some of us was at camp. Some of us, somebody gave a flyer. We were sown the word. Read.
But when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately and taketh away the word that was sown in their hearts.
I seen that happen multiple times at camp. We at camp, somebody getting the word, they listening, then here come the devil. I ain't seen this person in 20 years. Why, I can't believe it's you. It's like, what perfect timing, or the phone to ring. Grandma, you in the hospital? What? I got to leave? It's like, it be crazy stuff. It happens all the time. Like, this is the most truest scripture. Keep reading.
And these are they likewise which are sown on stony ground, who, when they have heard the word, immediately receive it with gladness.
So you see that. You'll get somebody that be hearing it. They'll be excited. They'll come for a little while. What happened? Keep reading.
And have no root in themselves.
The root is what? They don't study. What I got for the root? I got Colossians 2 and 7. Let's see what that is. Get that real quick. Then we'll
the
come
book of
back.
Colossians, chapter 2, verse 7. Rooted and built up in him, and established in the faith, as ye have been taught.
So how you going to be rooted? Keep reading.
Abounding therein with thanksgiving.
So you going to be taught. If you being taught and you learning, what are you doing? You studying. So let's go back. What did it say? 4 and 17.
And have no root in themselves, and so endure but for a time.
Read.
Afterward, when affliction or persecution ariseth for the word's sake, immediately they are offended.
I personally seen this happen to somebody that I know that's close to me. We had got them to come to the school. They was coming for a while, and it was like a month or two before the holidays. And, man, they peoples put the press on them, press them out so bad. and basically had them fall out the truth, and they went right to the Thanksgiving, and the Christmas never came back. They couldn't take the, you know what I mean? Couldn't take it. Couldn't handle it. Keep reading.
And these are they which are sown among thorns, such as hear the word, and the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lusts of other things entering in, choke the word, and becometh unfruitful.
You see that? So they get caught up in the world. I seen that happen. We seen people come in and they be faithful workers, and they'll be struggling the whole time they get here, get a good job or something like that, and then you don't see them no more. They fall off. The next time you see them, they doing something crazy. So I want to get the video. This is what happened to the Grinch. He got caught up in the world. What's the video where he was sitting down? Let me see. Which one is it? Let me look. Hold on real quick. It's a cartoon. It's a cartoon, yeah. Go about halfway. How many minutes is the cartoon? 4 minutes. Go to about the halfway mark and let it play.
What happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say, that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And then, the true meaning of Christmas came through, and the Grinch found the strength of 10 Grinches, plus 2. And now that his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. With a smile in his soul, he descended Mount Crumpet, cheerily blowing hoo-hoo on his trumpet.
So look at that. The Grinch done fell out the daggone truth. Go ahead down, look at him. He bringing the Christmas tree back.
He brought back their snoof and their tringlers and fuzzles. Brought back their pantookas, their dafflers and wuzzles. He brought everything back, all the food for the feast. And he himself, the Grinch.
Look at that. Hey, look. Hey, shut it down right there. That was it right there. The Grinch then went back and ate the swine. He's sitting right back at the Christmas table. Y'all see that? Hey, don't let that be you, man. Y'all come in here with all the zeal, burn down Christmas trees. The next thing you know, you sitting back under the tree eating some daggone swine with a dog. Come on now. Let's go back. Let's get that, what we just read that, verse 19. That's what happened to the Grinch.
The book of Mark, chapter 4, verse 19. And the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lusts of other things entering in, choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful.
That's what happened to my man right there. Y'all seen it. Real life example. All right, but this is what we want to be right here. Verse 20. I'm going to close out with this.
Verse 20. And these are they which are sown on good ground,
Read.
Such as hear the word and receive it, and bring forth fruit.
That's what we got to do. We got to labor to bring forth fruits, because y'all see how evil this kingdom is becoming. So we got to get out here and try to put in this work so that we can end this thing, because this thing ain't going to get no better. It's just getting worse and worse. Read.
Some 30-fold, some 60, and some 100. And he said unto them, Is a candle brought to be put under a bushel or under a bed?
Is that what you do with a candle? No, that's not what you do with a candle. Read.
And not to be set on a candlestick?
Read.
For there is nothing hid which shall not be manifested. Neither was anything kept secret, but that it should come abroad.
All right, that's good right there. So, yeah, so I should have ended it up with verse 20. But, nah, that's all praises. Anybody got any questions on anything on that? About the Grinch or anything like that? Yeah, all praises. So that's going to be in. That's the end of the class tonight. And with that, we say shalom, fam.
Shalom.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in IUIC has been given a vision The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.